Located almost exactly halfway between Irvine and Westwood, the men's volleyball world sets their sights on the iconic Walter Pyramid here in Long Beach, California. It's the national semifinals as UCLA, the defending champs, and the top seed meet a familiar foe in the fourth-seeded UC Irvine as we take a look at how we got here. And Tuesday was filled with sweeps. For the first time ever, 8 teams in the NCAA men's volleyball field. And well, the top seeds all move on as we sit chalky here on this semifinal Thursday as we welcome you into Walter Pyramid. Alongside Rob St. Clair, I'm Daniel Gilman. So happy to be with you. And, well, Rob, a lot of familiarity between these two teams. They played twice earlier in the season. Where does that really sit between them?
It helps and hurts. They played so long ago that both teams are a little bit different now than they were then, but it always helps with coaches when you are seeing a team on film against an opponent that team happens to be you. That certainly helps. UCLA won both those matches in the first month of the year, but they have a tall task at defending the National Player of the Year in Ilir Heno for UC Irvine. And Daniel, just generally, when it was announced that this tournament was expanding to 8 teams at the beginning of this year, there is no better group of semifinal teams that we could have asked for than these 4 here. The volleyball community in America has been dreaming about matchups like this, and this one is going to set the stage for another great one later tonight. And legitimately, I believe that any of the 4 teams left could win a national title. And this man right here, Ilir, go all the way.
And so Heno, after his title win last night for Player of the Year, he's going to have a lot of defense that has to step up. And so for UCLA, a team filled with offensive firepower, who's the one that sets the stage?
That's Andrew Rowan, most certainly. The first-team All-American setter, and in the opinion of many, the best setter in the country. Won a national title as a true freshman last year. Now he's got a little bit more moving parts around him. UCLA has so much talent that they've used all season. Rowan has been the one constant leading UCLA to the nation's lead in hitting efficiency. And first ball side out is going to be a big key for them tonight when the ball's on their side of the net.
Well, the Bruins took home their 20th title last season with that epic 4-set victory over Hawaii out in Fairfax, Virginia. Now they have a little bit more home turf. Rob, give us your keys.
Keys to the game for UCLA, first ball side out. This is the best offensive team in the country statistically. When the ball is in Andrew Rowan's hands, they've got to be as efficient as they've been all year. And then on defense, it's handle everyone but Heno. Ilir Heno is so darn good that he's going to get his. They just don't want to get beat by more guys than just number 20 in dark blue.
Let me go to the other side. There are a ton of great storylines. Rob, Heno right there, number 20, is a key on defense for UCLA. How about for the Anteaters?
Block defense to transition is massive for UC Irvine because when they dig a ball, they have options for where to go because Heno right there on your screen is just so good in those situations. But also, Nolan Flexen is going to be a factor who gets to start at opposite here. But also what UC Irvine wants to do is activate the middle of the court. They're starting a Teal Tangatur at outside hitter, really good ball control player. They want to get Grigorev and Campbell in the middle going as much as possible, plus Heno out of the back row through the middle of the court.
Well, UC Irvine with the UCLA transfer there in Cole Power, the grad senior libero, and the Hawaii transfer who won back-to-back titles at setter in Brett Sheward. As Flexen gets the start over the 6'10" Aussie in William Darcy. That was a bit of a shock, and we'll see how it plays in as UCLA brings the best offense and the best offensive player in the country in Merrick McHenry. And this pyramid has been waiting for the serve. Tangatur delivers, and this semifinal is underway. Tremendous play by Chaplin. In system. Can David defend Heno? Can Heno defend David? What a start!
What a start is right. Huge credit to Akil Tangatur on the serve. Good chase down by UCLA. That is a big sign early. Ilir Heno in the blocking game, one-on-one, takes the cross court away from Ido David.
5.5 points per set leads the nation for the National Player of the Year as Tangatur set again. It's an overpass handled by the Hawaii transfer in Sheward.
Look at Brett Sheward scoring points for the first time in his career this season. Won 2 national championships in Hawaii as a libero. Just a rock-solid, consistent guy when the ball's in his hands. But look at that play in the blocking game. You love to see it.
Of course, Andrew Rowan, the sophomore setter on the other side of things, one of 5 freshmen to win the title. Of course, 3 of those freshmen quite notable standouts. You've got Ludies, Karai. Rowan has added himself to that list as Merrick McHenry set to serve. Just about 50-50 in terms of fan support. On an overpass, terminated by David, and we're tied at 2.
Oh, or are we? We've got a very early challenge. UC Irvine thinks this touched Ito David on its way out of bounds, and they might have something here. This could be another block point for Brett Shewart on an overpass situation and a really early chance to explain our challenge system. Each team gets 3 challenges for up that green card that's on the table next to him. Ooh, I don't know about this. We're going to have to see that in slower motion. You get 3 challenges per team for the match. If you win your challenge, you keep it. You effectively have infinite challenges as long as you keep getting them right. Did this ball touch David after it was blocked? It's very hard to tell.
Certainly a risky call, and now we can bring in the storylines as David Niffin wins the challenge, says our down judge Christian Krizik. And Niffin, who took over for John Speraw, the UCLA head coach, each with a championship or a couple under their belt.
Yeah, these are the last 2 guys to win a national championship at UC Irvine. Speraw in 2012, Niffin in 2013, taking over for him.
So the Anteaters win the challenge, stick with 3. Maxim Grigorev, stand out middle to serve, as Grigorev with a nice middle dig. Flexen's first swing handled, and now we see Alex Knight, last season's tournament MOP, now the libero, setting things up for Robinson.
There is a lot to get to at that point right there, Daniel, but we got to point out number 9 in dark blue, Nolan Flexen, who gets to start at opposite for UC Irvine, transfer from NAIA program, the Masters University, where he was by far and away the best player in the country at that level the last couple of years.
Flexen started at GCU, did not play much, transferred to Masters, and won the Player of the Year award, as you mentioned. As David's serve goes long, UC Irvine trying to prove that it is indeed hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, as the Bruins won in 5 in Irvine, a couple days later 1 in 4 in Pauley. Here's David, the Israeli, who had an unbelievable tournament last season, as the southpaw Heno terminates with ease, and it's 5-2.
What do we talk about in our keys? Block, defense to transition. That's set a little bit higher than David was expecting. UCLA transfer Cole Power was all over it, and then in transition, Ilir Heno, the Player of the Year, off the block and out of bounds.
And it's Guy Guinness, the redshirt junior from Tel Aviv, who gets the start as Sheward goes over the line. And a foot fault gives UCLA the side out. But more on that UCLA middle matchup, right? Because we've seen Sean McQuiggan all season long, but it's Guy Guinness, the veteran, who gets the start today.
And I like that matchup, too. UC Irvine, not the biggest team in the middle. Campbell about 6'7", Grigorev only about 6'4". I like the speed and ability to read the game from Guinness.
Big serve by Cooper Robinson, and it's a quick set to the middle as Campbell is dug by David. What a ball by Robinson as Champlin makes his mark early.
That is an insane bump set from Cooper Robinson, and even better work by Ethan Champlin to find this ball. The degree of difficulty of finding that ball from the top of the pyramid and finding an angle to the court against 3 blockers, that is a first-team All-American swing right there for number 20 in white.
Certainly a venue all 12 players on the court are familiar with, as Robinson gives one right back. And when we talked to the coaches about playing in Walter Pyramid, what was the thing that they focused on most?
Your depth perception on high balls, whether you're a jump spin server and you toss the ball high and have to go get it, or an attacking like you just saw there from Champlin, is a little bit different when you have so much space behind the ball in every direction. That plus the floodlights in the corner make this a unique place to play volleyball.
Huge serve by the Frenchman. Handled as Champlin is dug by Heno. I'll tell you what, Akil Tangator at just 6'2" made that look easy.
So good, so good. Block defense to transition right on cue. Ilir Heno in exactly the right spot on defense. He set it up with some pretty good surface pressure. Look at that. You can't do it any better than that. Block, defense, transition offense, smart swing by Tangator on the left.
Tangator, who played club ball with Alex Knight. And I'll tell you what, the familiarity just drones on and on and on. These teams, they like each other. There isn't a ton of animosity like we might see in the nightcap between Grand Canyon and Long Beach. As Guinness set to serve here in the early moments of this national semifinal. Great serve, passed by Power. And Flexen gets himself on the scoreboard. Needs that one, I'm sure.
Sure did. Found a little bit of weak space through the block and down. And like you mentioned, Daniel, in the intro, we are just about exactly midway between Westwood and Irvine. Pretty good crowd on hand from both teams. That's only going to get better as we get deeper into the night.
Well, that superstar has not taken a swing yet. Merrick McHenry, who is hitting .570 this season. As it's out of system and Champlin sends a free ball. Heno will set out to Tangator. Gotta love David. Ooh, Heno gets in front of Campbell and costs Irvine a point there.
Yeah, I think that ball is diggable. Heno made a read, tried to charge it forward, and then got beat off above him, off the fingertips of the block. Ethan Champlin doing some really good work early in and out of system and attacking, but UCLA's reception, Daniel, early on, not the cleanest. And they're, as we see, one of their two liberos, Matthew Aziz, cleaning up the floor right now, pointing out just a very interesting thing that they do at that position. Alex Knight is in at number 12 in blue when they receive. Matthew Aziz, number 14 in blue, is in when they serve. The only team in the NCAA that I know of that uses their liberos in that pattern.
Aziz, a sophomore from Burbank, has not been the bro often this season, as Grigorev with that first ball side out. And so far, 15 points in. Where are you giving the early edge to, Rob?
So far, it's been Irvine's serving that I've been impressed by, or at least the ability to put pressure on UCLA, and the reception has taken a few points to sort of figure it out and put Rowan in positions where he can set every player. McHenry has not gotten a swing yet. That's due to the poor reception.
Big serve by Flexen, earns the free ball. David with the left hand. Not many do it better than Heno.
So that is really interesting. When Flexen and Heno are both in the back row, they're switching where they're defending and attacking in transition. Flexen can play both spots. He's in middle back there. Heno on the right side, the transition attacker. Very impressive. UCLA timeout. Will be right back on the other side on NCAA.com.
Bring color to life with the very best paint. Only at Sherwin-Williams.
See? It's just like real camping.
Ugh, we don't have real ants. Ew.
Like I said, real camping.
When ants show up, so do we. Terminix it.
And we start with the apprentice on the UC Irvine side as the Anteaters and David Niffen. Let's see if we can find him. There he is in the beautiful blue blazer. 12th season as the Irvine head coach. He started his career as a bench player for LMU, worked his way to Irvine, and now has a championship ring under his belt. Looking for another as Ethan Champlin comes out of that timeout with a bang.
I think, Daniel, that right there, number 20 in white, is the best pound-for-pound player in the NCAA. Inch for inch, maybe, if you will. 6'3", maybe. Amazing all-around player. You saw the contact point on that one.
Tangator with a give and go, and the sneakiness. Oh no, Akil falls awkwardly after his termination. And I guess if there's one saving grace here for Irvine, they do have a usual starter on the pin. That was benched today, so we will see and hope for a cramp for one of the more exciting players. You talk about pound for pound, Rob, as well. Tangator And Champlin right around that 6'2", 6'3" range. And a couple Anteater teammates are going to come out and help as well.
Well, first and foremost, we're hoping for the best for Akil Tangatur. I hope that this is better than the way it looks right here.
And you know, on that replay, he fell over the line on David's foot.
Just barely, yeah. And here's the other thing for UC Irvine going forward. What they would normally like to do is to bring Nolan Flexen in at outside hitter for Tangatur, but since Flexen started the set at opposite, they can't do that. They're going to have to either put Darcy in lined up at the outside hitter position and try and move some things around, or it might be Connor Dom, number 10, or even a different option. Looks like it'll be number 14, Andon Kiriako. Wow, very interesting.
It's the freshman from Canada who is going to have a moment here, as we will certainly keep tabs on Tangatur's health. And now Irvine trying to communicate to the kid who is going to come in and serve in the national semifinal.
This was not in David Niffin's playbook, we can tell you that.
8 sets all season, and has not played since April 13th. Step 1, serve it in. Step 2, Merrick McHenry gets his first swing of this match.
Finally, McHenry gets an attempt on offense. This dude is so high in the air. Look at that. He is straight over the top of Grigorev. Nothing you can do when McHenry is just picking the ball off the top of the antenna like that. Doesn't get it out of the setter's hands fast, but he's so high that he can't be stopped.
McHenry also brings a hammer. Heno was there, and into the triple block. It's a roof.
Great serving. Great serving from Merrick McHenry. That's what set that up, and that's what set up any opportunity so far for either team in block defense and transition. And that, I think, just might be unlucky for Alir Heno. He got a pretty decent bounce there off of Guinness. His leg just happened to get in the way.
37 aces this season for McHenry, the super senior, as Grigorev puts a little frustration into that swing, Rob.
Love it. I love this middle matchup. Well, all 4 of these middle blockers, very different players. Grigorev, the smallest, also the fastest, and maybe with the best arm of the 4, I might argue. And he's a factor from the service line here, too.
2 early kills for Grigorev. He'll send one long at 70 miles an hour, which is right around that point that we've been focusing on. There have been a few serves here this tournament that have reached 71, 72. We'll keep an eye. The gun is right there on the right, a screen that shows the miles per hour for every serve, as David holds the 72 mile an hour serve here this week. Took a little off that one. Covered by Schuard. Power will send out towards that one spot. Haven't seen many Bicks tonight. There's the first from Champlin. Oh, another ball facialed off Heno.
Wow, Guy Guinness with 2 blocks in a row against the National Player of the Year. And after that slow-down block touch against Champlin out of the back row, I thought for sure UC Irvine was going to take that point. Outstanding move by that man right there, number 9 in white.
2 blocks apiece, and the Bruins with a serve to even it. Oh, he let that one rip. And it's 13-11 as the Anteaters still with the freshman on the floor, and Anton Kiriko. There's number 14 who came in for Tangatur, and you mentioned it. Really insightful perception there that you don't necessarily want Darcy to come in on the left side. David gets it through the Flexen block, and UCLA siding out with a little bit more ease now after the timeout.
That is a big block, too, that Ido David just challenged, and he won that challenge. And now this particular rotation 1 configuration for Irvine in reception, with Heno on the right, Flexen on the left, they are built to be really good in all spots in this particular point right here. Robinson with the
fourth service error for UCLA, and there is certainly an emphasis from coaches that service errors just don't matter to them. Every time we bring it up, every time I ask, it could be 30, it could be 15 service errors. The coaches have much more important things to focus on.
Yes, they do. Nobody looks at error numbers. If anything, they look at ace to service error ratio. Wow, right on cue. A clean one from Ilir Heno.
Heno, who is having a quote-unquote down season at the service line with his 49th ace of the year after 87 led the nation last season.
Yeah, that's relative, isn't it? Compared to his mark a year ago, that was a beauty. That was untouchable, right in the seam. And then a changeup.
Guinness with the pass. Back row to Heno, and he will tool the block of Guinness. Irvine with a 4-point edge.
And Andon Kiriakou, number 14, who came in, made the first touch on that play to feed it to Heno out of the back row. Big lead for Irvine in set one. We'll be right back.
Pizza Hut started Book It to help students across America develop a lifelong love of reading. Over 35 years later, we're still going strong. In fact, 1 in 5 NCAA student athletes was likely a Book It kid. Did you know that Book It kids are more likely to hold a college degree? That's why we're proud to partner with the NCAA.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at Sherwin-Williams.
See? It's just like real camping.
Ugh, we even have real ants. Ew.
Like I said, real camping.
When ants show up, so do we. Terminix it.
And we look at the upcoming Paris Olympics head coach in John Speraw, who is the first volleyball player coach to win a championship as a player, an assistant coach, and a head coach. He won his first at UCLA last season, looking to go back-to-back and continue a wild trend.
It is a crazy trend that we have going. It's been over 10 years since the team has not gone back-to-back as NCAA men's volleyball national champion.
Five straight teams have done so as Heno creates a free ball. And flexes a bit.
More service pressure from Ilir Heno. He gets all the credit for this. He forced the overpass, generated the free ball, and then everyone in the gym kind of expected that ball to go to Heno. Look at the start from Nolan Flexen. Big number 9 in dark blue.
A 4-0 run for the Anteaters. Rowan's been a bit quiet, hasn't he? And Rowan, in fact, has a bloody nose that he suffered earlier in this set. So keep an eye on the setter for UCLA. You see Rowan with a red face still able to find his favorite outside in Champlin.
Great catch, Daniel. I wouldn't have noticed that. You see the speed of that ball to Champlin on the left side. Really a big factor. And now Coleman McDonough serving off the bench, but he comes up short. And that's one of 6 players. 6 players who have at some point played libero for the UCLA Bruins this year. That's an insane number.
And the Bruins have stuck with last season's Player of the Year for the tournament in night, as Connor Dahm will make his national semifinal debut here. Dahm, who has certainly had his moments as an outside, could be an option moving forward if Tangator is out. That's a tricky serve. Passed by Robinson, terminated by David.
And that is a matchup that UCLA will try and feast on, while Andon Kiriakou is still in the game as a left side blocker. Look at the size difference. Kiriakou, what, maybe 6'2"? Yeah, the kid out of Ontario. Just not much of a match for Ido David on that play.
Rowan to serve. Handled by his former teammate in power. And there is a smooth swing from the right pin as Flexen, he is a player that Coach Niffen talked about being the guy. He's had the experience being the guy. Listen to these Flexen numbers last season at the Masters, 5.3 kills per set.
Ridiculous. When you have now two guys on the floor who have experience being the guy, when it comes down to situations like this, you got two great options to go to.
Knight handles the serve. What a ball by Rowan. That's going to land out of bounds, but Robinson plays it. Champlin, a little no-look special in the corner.
That swing is so good. That swing by man. Action inside out to see that space and again pick on the smaller blocker and on Kiriakou.
5 kills, 10 swings without an error for Champlin. First team All-American yet again. Kiriakou's going to get the chance, and I'm not sure he's going to get another.
Wow. Merrick McHenry practically swallowed that ball whole and spit it back out. And is this a challenge or a timeout from David Niffen? Let's see. Maybe neither. Just asking a question. Maybe just slow down the pace ever so slightly. But there are a lot of wheels in his head spinning right now about what he's going to do next set if Akil Tangatour is unable to continue. In the meantime, though, Irvine leads by 3. They put themselves in a great spot.
UCLA took the first set in both meetings this season. Big swing by Flexen. The block was brilliant. Here comes Robinson. Well, that was awkward. Free ball given at 19-16. Don't be surprised if UCLA goes to the bench if the Pins continue to struggle.
Wow.
Heno does his impression. Inside out swing.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is something that actually French volleyball invented. Shout out to reigning MVP of the Olympics, Irvin Ingapet, who invented this option ball coming out of the middle back position. That player, that outside hitter, can either jump and set it or jump and take a swing. You saw actually it happen on both sides in that same rally, but Heno eventually was the one that was able to terminate it.
Serve is long from Kiriakou, who had been propelled in with the injury to Tangatour. And, you know, when we talked to Coach Niffen, he said, we are going to live and die by Akil Tangatour, and it is just such a tragic injury as he has not resumed his spot on the bench. Meanwhile, the middles have been quiet, haven't they, as Grigorev is the leader with 3 kills.
That is a really nice read by Max Grigorev. 2 big blockers up. A swing at that ball, it would have gotten stuffed straight down. That's a really nice read.
UC Irvine, 4 points away from taking this opening set. The Anteaters have not made the tournament since 2018, so all of these players playing for the first time as an Anteater. Of course, you've got Cole Power, who's been to the big dance. We talked about Seward's 2 championship rings with Hawaii. How about Hawaii? First tournament without the Rainbow Warriors since 2018, and of course, Spiros Hakis is greatly missed, and a big reason why Hawaii was not able to advance past the semifinals of the Big West tournament, as David set to serve.
Wow.
Ito will take it himself.
That's so good. That is so good from Guy Gannis. I love the set choice by Andrew Rowan, still with his nose bleeding and everything. Look at this spacing. Look at how fast this gets up. Look at Seward and Campbell trying to collapse and stop that. There's just no chance. All set up by David, and now a blocking specialist in Zach Rama comes in for Rowan. There's no setter on the court right now for UCLA. It will probably be Champlin to step in and set the second ball if they get it into transition. All about David's serve right here.
Speraw takes a gamble, and the serve goes long, so Rowan will quickly check back in at 22-19. Alex Knight, who is such a standout pin hitter in the tournament last season, now the bro. With a beautiful pass there. What a quick ball to Guinness.
I love this setting from Andrew Rowan. Sometimes down the stretch in a set, when you're in a tight one around point 20, you go away from the middle just subconsciously because you want to go to your guys that typically take you over the finish line in situations like this. No, not for Rowan. Keeping the offense fast and unpredictable. Rotation 1 receive here for Irvine against a really good server in Robinson.
The freshman with a beautiful pass. Heno puts it on a dart.
He can even set the National Player of the Year. Look at that. That ball came out of his hands beautifully. And now 23-20 Irvine. Look who's back to serve, Daniel. Look who it is.
And the stats are stuffed already. Heno with 2 blocks, 4 digs, an ace, an assist, and 4 kills.
Incredible.
A couple chances. That's 23-21. I'll tell you what, this first set, living up to the hype.
Yeah, it's had a little bit of everything. Had an injury to Akil Tengatur, a bloody nose for Andrew Rowan, a bunch of people making plays. UC Irvine in a good spot. If they can side out twice, this set is theirs. Strong
pass by Power. It's Flexen. What a shot to give Irvine 3 set points.
Nolan Flexen, we had no idea he was going to start, much less at what position he might see some time. He is a casual 5 for 8 with no errors, hitting .625 in the first set of a national semifinal, and his team's got set point. Incredible job by David Niffen so far. Incredible.
And Irvine has brought the support. Flexen, who did have 19 kills the last time these two teams met, he hit .385 in that match before Darcy was added to the mix. As the float serve from Campbell gives UCLA a little bit of life as Rowan, the top server on this Bruins team, had an unbelievable service run late in the semifinals last season. UCLA pushed past Long Beach before beating Hawaii, but the serve is out, and Irvine takes the first set, shorthanded, 25-22.
Remarkable. Irvine loses one of their starting outside hitters. I see Akil Tengatur over there getting on crutches to move across to the other side. I don't know if we'll be seeing him again the rest of the way, but Irvine steals the set anyway, 25-22, and now they have time and chances with the start of set number 2 to get a little bit more organized. A really interesting one coming here on the other side on NCAA.com. We'll be back for set number 2.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at Sherwin-Williams.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni! Yeehaw!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
When it comes to your truck, you can power it up 6 ways to Sunday. But if you want to get things done, start with the capability of Ford F-150. Gas, power boost hybrid, or all electric. The power is yours.
At 1 p.m. for our championship match. If you're not able to make it in person or have friends and family across the country you'd like to watch,
Tune in to ESPN. That's right, ESPN, the main channel to watch the winners of today's match.
A 444 hitting percentage, and let's let the highlights roll for Ilir Heno in that first set.
Yeah, 444 as a team for Irvine, and Heno doing it in every single way. 4 kills, a block, 2 blocks, an ace serve, a whole measure. And that is some National Player of the Year stuff right there, leading the country all year long in points per set with 5.5, which is otherworldly levels of quality and quantity for the Frenchman on the year.
But the developing story for UC Irvine, they are now without their standout outside hitter, Akil Tangator, who is on crutches. And it is the freshman, number 14, right there on the left side, Andon Kiriakou, who has not faltered yet. One hitting error, a couple key digs. Where do you feel like his emotional scale is sitting right now?
Well, now that he's gotten a chance to digest it in the timeout, I think he might have a little more understanding of what the heck is even going on here. But his job right now is simple. Pass the ball, touch the ball well on defense, and allow the offense to run through Flexen and Heno. As you see there, Akil Tangator with his knee wrapped and elevated on the sideline.
McHenry with a wicked serve to start the second set, and Heno finds a spot with no Bruins to start it.
Excellent pass. Excellent pass. I think that was Cole Power who put that one on the plate against his former program. And certainly an advantage in the libero category for UC Irvine with Power as the second team All-American and UCLA needing 2 guys to fill that spot.
Out of system comes Knight. Champlin rejected by Heno, and UC Irvine picks up their 3rd block.
Look at that hang by Heno. He was in the air for so long, just waiting for that ball to get there and casually tapped it down. 3 blocks now for Ilir Heno, I believe.
Talented volleyball family. His younger brother Matisse went pro right out of high school, playing over in the French top league. As Grigorev serves another good one to Champlin, who finds the body of Campbell, gets UCLA on the board here in the second.
Look at how fast that is. If we see this on a replay, just look at the timing of where Ethan Champlin is in his approach when the ball is in Andrew Rowan's hands. He's practically taking it out 0 tempo, faster than some of the middles that you'll see in this tournament.
Meanwhile, Rowan's nose has stopped bleeding. David set to serve. Somehow saved by Power. They're just going to keep going to the well. Ethan Champlin with his 7th kill.
Look at that speed again. Great block touch by Champlin as well against Flexen. And that's basically a free ball when you can slow down a ball like that. Look at this speed. Champlin is halfway through his approach before the ball is even released from Andrew Rowan. That is a nightmare for opposing blockers.
And if you were a setter, would you go anywhere else than against Seward, 6'2" on the pin?
Great point. Good matchup.
Booming serve. Whoa. Blocked by Geddes.
That is a gigantic one-on-one move from Guy Geddes. Now 3 blocks on the match. And that one a big one to shut down Connor Campbell. Look at that. So quick and high over the net with the hands.
This pyramid is buzzing. Irvine took the first set 25-22 behind a 444 hitting percentage. UCLA was not far behind though. They hit 391 in that first set as Irvine draws it here early in the second. Alongside Rob St. Clair, I'm Daniel Gilman. So happy to be with you here on NCAA.com. The first of 2, you see the Long Beach assistant back there. The Beach, the hosts, will take on the Cinderella story in Grand Canyon as Ito David finds the corner.
Unstoppable swing right there from Ito David. That ball is... Yep, perfection. Can't do it any better than that. No defense in volleyball can stop that swing. Wow.
No words.
Oh, man. That is just such a gnarly angle from Ilir Heno. One of the magical things about having a left-handed outside hitter is in rotation 1, when he gets that one chance to hit on the right side of the court, he's able to create angles like that. That's inside the 3-meter line. That is insane.
Now, Heno was held under 30 swings in both of the matches this season. I have a feeling he's going to take a few more than 30 swings here tonight.
And when he played UCLA, although on slightly lower volume, he did hit 464 combined in those 2 matches with 40 points total, especially doing it from the service line. So he's got comfort with the Bruins on the other side of the net.
Dennis to serve. Passed by the freshman.
Wow.
And there's a little taste of their own medicine. McHenry, who has been quiet, just 1 kill today with his second block.
Flexen laughing about it too. I think he learned the hard way just now. If you want to go off speed against Merrick McHenry, that ball's got to be a hell of a lot higher than that. What a throwdown that was. There it is.
Talk about adjustments from the NAIA AVCA Player of the Year.
Really a remarkable story. You mentioned Flexen earlier starting at Grand Canyon, but even before that, he was homeschooled in New Mexico, not an area of the country that traditionally outputs great volleyball talent.
And Niffin recruited him out of high school.
Yes, he did.
Lost the battle to Worley.
Oh, man.
And there's McHenry showing off what has to be an infinitely high. Talk about upside.
Yeah, seriously. Merrick McHenry just floats through the air. He's not the fastest middle in terms of time from Rowan's hand to contact, but he's so high in the air that it doesn't matter. Nobody in the country can stop that when he's reaching at his highest point.
Sherwood with the save. Grigorev earns himself another chance and tools the block of McHenry.
Look at that little quick 2-man volleyball there. Grigorev, that's a heck of a play by a middle to get your own rebound off initially getting blocked like that, and then be fast enough to get back, get a couple steps, get up again in transition, and the trust from Sherwood to give it back to him. I love it.
Irvine did not trail much in that first set. Now Robinson will have to set. He puts it on a dime for David, and Ito David has 4 kills. Second on the Bruins.
And that kill there in particular for Ito David, being that it was on the left side of the court, is a really good sign for UCLA. That should make them feel a lot better about rotation 1 the rest of this match if David can score against 3 blockers with that sort of a swing.
Cooper Robinson gets a little greedy down the line. Robinson's been quiet. 1 kill on 3 swings. He's the one that really exploded. 22 and 23 kills that week at the end of January.
Great point. I was just about to bring that up. Robinson gave Irvine nightmares earlier in the season when they played not that much of a factor so far.
That was a career high for Robinson. 23 kills. But he's been good on defense. Robinson sets up the 1-2 punch there from Rowan to McHenry, and Merrick McHenry now 303, and Irvine trying to find an answer for it.
Merrick McHenry is on pace to set maybe an all-time record in NCAA history for hitting efficiency. There's a great chance that he finishes his career over 500 all-time.
Would make him the first student athlete in men's volleyball history. A rally scoring error to do that. Champlin out of system. Robinson took a stinger.
Made a heck of a play, though, on defense to slow down Heno, trying to tip that ball down the line. Heno's been doing that sort of thing so much this year. Just all sorts of crazy junk off speed, finding space. Robinson made a great play. It turned into a UCLA point, but now the concern is Robinson okay? He's trying to shake it off and get back into this. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Keep an eye on number 11 in white.
It looked like it was above the thigh and below the hip, if you know what I mean. Good serve by McHenry. Oh, what a spot by Sherwood!
The pineapple. One of my favorite plays in all of volleyball. The pineapple from the front court setter. Takes the right hand, throws it deep over the block and over the defense. Invented and literally trademarked by the all-time great Loy Ball. And used by Sherwood there is having an impact on the scoreboard at the setter position for UC Irvine.
2 kills, nothing I love more than an attacking setter. Robinson, beautiful ball to David. How about another dig for Grigorev? As Flexen got a little too close to that 3-meter line, he struggled to find the ball.
Yeah, just a rare, imperfect, out-of-system set there to Flexen. He couldn't get his feet inside far enough. But credit to Grigoriev, like you said, Daniel, one of the best defensive middle blockers I've seen in a very long time. He's digging a lot of balls after he serves.
31 aces after a pair on Tuesday for Ito David. And how good was that from Cole Power as Heno delivers his 7th blow.
I know UC Irvine as a team isn't the type of team under David Niffen to hold a grudge of any kind, but you got to think that it's feeling pretty good for Cole Power right now to play against his former team and keep them as in system as he has so far.
I'll make a correction. I said Rowan's former teammate. Power left UCLA after 2021 as Robinson flies from the Bic.
First time we've really seen that in system for UCLA, and it will not be the last. One of my favorite plays in all of volleyball, maybe the prettiest. That middle back outside hitter coming flying in out of the back row, called the Bic or the back row quick, invented by the Brazilian men in the early 2000s.
I think it was the 04 Olympics that it really gained its notoriety. As, how about the chunk thrown into the corner by Heno?
The vision is insane, and this is kind of typical of a lot of European volleyball players who've been playing at the game at just a different level and a different style since a younger age on average than in the States. But the brain attached to Heno's incredible physical gifts is what has made him the National Player of the Year this year.
Now we get to witness another serve, although Heno has sent a couple into the net and shown his frustration after. But when we talked to every coach leading in, all 8 of them, we asked who the best player in the field was. There were no hesitations. None. Everybody said Heno.
And for good reason. 5.5 points per set on the year.
Easy serve from Guinness.
Wow.
Flexen. Right in front of Sparad. Hits the line.
That was pretty. Look at the contact point on this thing for Nolan Flexen. He is up there against 2 really big blockers. Deception with the shoulder angle, pulls it across his body. You can only hit that shot if you're able to contact it as high as Nolan Flexen did there. Ooh, tight pass.
That was such a good serve from Campbell, just over the tape as Robinson out of system misses, and Campbell with the perception to avoid it, and Spara is now being told by his team, do not challenge this, and you gotta love to see that from the players.
That's well done. We talked a lot on Tuesday of when you only have 3 challenges for the match, they're really precious. You gotta be sure that that call's gonna get overturned, and you gotta trust your players. Wow.
No reason to challenge when you have Merrick McHenry.
He's going to be getting a bill from the Long Beach State Athletic Department for property damage on the Walter Pyramid floor after this tournament is over. Look at that! Look how high he's contacting that. That's ridiculous.
McHenry moved to Austin, Texas to play for the Austin Juniors. Got recruited to head out to Los Angeles as Rowan delivers the ace and sends us into the media break in this incredibly exciting second set. The first of 2 national semifinals here on NCAA.com.
National Collegiate Championship semifinal match.
Yeah, all right, Beach fans. My name is DJ B-Rock. It's time for an energy check. It's time for an energy check. I'm going to say something, you repeat after me.
Bring color to life with the very best paint. Only at Sherwin-Williams.
Everybody clap your hands.
We are inside the Walter Pyramid, the site of the 2019 NCAA championship that saw Long Beach State hoist the trophy in a back-to-back effort as UCLA seeks to do just that here inside this hollowed ground. We will give way on Saturday for a 2 o'clock Pacific Time championship. Paul Sunderland, Kevin Barnett will take over on ESPN 2. So we still have one more incredible semifinal to go. Long Beach and GCU. As Flexen comes close, that stays inside the antenna. Champlin with an awkward swing from the back row misses.
Wow, that is a gift for UC Irvine. I'm still amazed they were able to keep that ball inside the antenna, Daniel, like you said. But a rare misconnection and unforced error by Ethan Champlin out of the back row.
There's John Speraw. 3 championships at Irvine, 07, 09, and 12. And they won it with Niffin in 13. That will head out of play, and Grigorev has 5 kills on 7 errorless swings. Turns out he's the X factor in the middle today.
I love Max Grigorev's game. I love an undersized middle who plays with a lot of speed. Speaking of which, look forward to watching Grand Canyon's Cameron Thorne play later tonight.
UCLA not passing great today, and now Knight takes it off the face, and Irvine has us draw in the second.
Look at this serving by Nolan Flexen to help get UC Irvine level. The versatility of the Anteater side, moving some things around, has made this real interesting in set number 2. We'll be back after this break.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at Sherwin-Williams.
Just about a half an hour from the UC Irvine campus, depending on what time you want to leave, what your mode of transportation is. If you have one of those Uber helicopters, maybe a little shorter, as well as from Westwood. Not a bad neutral site for these two teams.
Not at all.
It's Flexen.
Coach's point for John Speraw. Yep.
First timeout used by UCLA.
Right, that was a big timeout too, to slow down the momentum in that rotation and get out of rotation 1 for UCLA. Now Robinson. This is a really good opportunity to have an impact on this second set from the service line.
On target. And blocked. Champlin. McHenry. 3 now for Merrick.
This is one of the more straight down stuff blocks I've seen in a very long time. One of the rare ones where the ball hits the ground before any of the players do. That is demoralizing. I love it. Beautiful move by McHenry.
Now UCLA faced some adversity. They really had a bit of an up and down season. You mentioned the cycling through of starting liberos, starting outside hitters. The opposite was in question for a lot of the year. Grant Sloan had that phenomenal run towards the end of the season, but it's David who gets the call here in the tournament. Of course, the Bruins lost the MPSF championship to GCU in 5 sets. And now a change being made.
A really interesting double substitution. Joe Carlos, number 12, the backup setter, and William Darcy, big number 5, the Australian at opposite, who started on Tuesday, keeping blocking size in the front court in these next couple rotations.
And who had Kiriakou with Carlos both on the floor at the same time as McHenry gives you the little shrug.
He knows how unstoppable he is, and I love that about him. But look at what Max Grigoriev tries to do here. A full approach jump to commit block on McHenry, jumped literally as high as he could, swimming through the air. No chance. No chance.
Now Merrick to serve. But Irvine's serve receive has been on point today as Heno goes down the seam.
Excellent set, fresh off the bench by Joe Carlos, number 12 in blue. A guy who deserves so much credit for sacrificing so much for this program. David Niffen talked to Carlos, who was set to be the starting setter this year, about the idea of bringing Brett Sheward in as the transfer. Carlos says, our team gets better with Sheward, even if it means I'm going to play less.
About the 8 inches increased at the net with Sheward instead. It's Darcy. There's Heno's agility getting that over. Champlin goes through the triple block.
Where did he find that space? That's ridiculous. That's 6'7", 6'8", 6'10". The 3 guys up in front of him. Let's see. Wow, that is incredible. If Champlin saw that gap, he is some kind of magician.
Tell you what, I'm keeping an eye on Cooper Robinson. He is shaking out his right arm, not looking 100% there in middle back on the right side. And we'll certainly keep tabs on that as David, looking like it was going deep, the freshman plays it, and the senior saves it. Carlos elects to find Heno, usually a good idea. That'll hit the antenna from Darcy, and it's UCLA to 21st.
Wow, Irvine had a swing there to steal a point, especially after that chase down that Power was able to bring back. UCLA walks away with it unless David Niffen chooses to challenge this. I'm not sure. So this was close.
Yeah, there will be.
Yes, it will be a challenge. So what they're going to look at here is who touched the ball last before it hit the antenna. Because that swing from Darcy, it hit the antenna and the UCLA block in pretty close succession. Who touched the ball last before the ball hit that red and white candy cane, which is immediately out of bounds?
You know, I love the juxtaposition of these two coaches. Niffen, as analytical as it gets. Our conversations with him could have been confused for a lecture. Spera's a lot more emotional, go with his gut. Here's a first look. And that certainly gets the antenna first.
So this will remain UCLA's play. This is one of the more convincing reviews that we've seen. I don't hate use it as sort of a de facto timeout to talk to your team. You had a chance to steal a point. It's not going to work out. It will be 20-17 UCLA. But now Irvine's going to try to make sure they're organized in their next couple rotations. It's key when you're trying to make a comeback like this with the score how it is. Your side-out offense has to be perfect. But then you have to understand the matchups and who to serve and when the ball's in your hands to try and grab a break point or two and make this thing real interesting.
Christian Krizak confirms what we saw on TV. Niffen, who is the assistant under Spera, a player for Spera, and now facing his mentor and former head coach for the first time in the postseason ever. Even as MPSF foes, they didn't match up.
Which is pretty remarkable given that this is both of their 12th season at their respective schools.
5 points from evening this match. Kiriakou made that look easy, and it's in system. And Darcy able to find his way to the service line. Take a look.
That point by UC Irvine was scored by 3 guys that did not start this game. Kiriakou with the pass, Carlos with the set, and William Darcy on the high ball swing. Outstanding range down the line. And now we'll have sort of the delay of undoing the 6-2. So Flexen will come in and block. Darcy will serve. There is no setter on the floor for Irvine right now, but now Sheward will come back in.
And you know what's funny? Both times that we've seen teams take out their setter,
service error.
So Sheward will come back in there.
This is those tiny little edges that a coach is looking for when it gets late in a set, when the game is close.
Champlin to serve. Rowan felt the brunt end of that. He's been beaten up today as it's 21-19 and one libero replaces the other for the Bruins.
And now Alex Knight's job is to fight off the serve, the wicked left-handed serve of Ilir Hanno, the National Player of the Year.
And I recognize one of the best setters in the nation back there in Nick Slight. Ready for the nightcap against Long Beach as Alex Knight lets it go. Service errors replace themselves.
I think Hanno's putting himself in a bit of a tough position with a couple of his tosses on his jump spin serves. They're not high enough and or too far in front of him.
So the middle back to serve pushes McHenry back into the front row and on the floor. As Flexen goes around McHenry. Robinson eats up Kiriaku's platform and it's 23-19.
That is what Cooper Robinson can bring. That sort of high, hard heat and range. The angle on that inside the block was exemplary. UCLA looking good to tie us up at 1. We'll see if they can do it when we come back.
Salutes all his AA student athletes striving for great.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at Sherwin-Williams.
UC Irvine with 5 All-Americans. Hanno, of course, leads the way as a first-teamer. A couple second-teamers in Poward and Sheward. Campbell and Grigorev, honorable mentions. As UCLA, well, they just have the 3 first-team All-Americans leading the way. Rowan, Champlin, McHenry, as Guinness just misses the serve wide.
Ooh, UCLA thinks this ball's in, and John Speraw challenging.
Immediate challenge by Speraw.
No hesitation at all about this one. And this is a float serve right in front of the far side line judge.
Unfortunately, it's out of my perception. I couldn't see whether this was in or out, but the UCLA fan section, which is interestingly placed right behind the Irvine. And on a quick review, it is a side out confirmed. Pretty close, though.
Pretty close.
So both coaches down to 2 challenges. And Connor Dahm comes back in to serve, a junior from Truckee up in the Lake Tahoe area. Pivotal moments here for both teams. Down into crunch time as David comes from the back row and gives UCLA 4 set points.
This is a heck of a swing by Ito David, and the reason why is that what I've seen a lot from him lately is angle. As far as the shot he wants to hit, he's been pulling a lot of balls across his body to hit the cross court. That one a little more down the line, allowing the ball to cross his shoulders and find space between the blockers. If he can have sideline to sideline range, watch out.
Rotation 1 for the Bruins. Plenty of time for Sheward. No touch. The Bruins, barring this potential challenge, Niffin will take it into the 3rd set. UCLA 25-20 comes storming back, and we head into the switch. Even 1-1. We are going to a 4th set no matter what for the first time this week in Long Beach. Next on NCAA.com.
Bring color to life with the very best paint. Only at Sherwin-Williams.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
When it comes to your truck, you can power it up 6 ways to Sunday. But if you want to get things done, start with the capability of Ford F-150. Gas, power boost hybrid, or all electric. The power is yours.
Following set 2, we take a look at a few of the big moments. Merrick McHenry, the MPSF Player of the Year, 5 for 5, a perfect start.
If you're going to be named Conference Player of the Year as a middle blocker, you a walking highlight reel. And in just 2 sets of action, he produces a highlight reel that you just saw just now. Great work by Andrea and our production team to get that ready to go. That highlight reel would be good for most players for an entire season. It's insane. He is so much fun to watch. His verticality is so ridiculous, but also his brain and his volleyball skill. He's an excellent read blocker as well, in addition to that athleticism.
400 or higher in every match this season until the championship loss to GCU. That's how good McHenry has been. And oh, he hit 778 against Fort Valley State on Tuesday. As the Pyramid is ready for a pivotal third set. And the last time these two teams played, 1-1, an extra points thriller in the third, 28-26, won by UCLA. We can only hope we get something just as good here in this important third set as Grigorev rips one to Champlin. A give and go as Ethan Champlin once again, just a business trip for him, 10 early kills.
You know what's really funny? David Niffen had to stop himself from going to dig that ball. He reacted, he's still got those volleyball player instincts, man. He reacted, made that move, almost put a platform out to it. I love that, I think that's awesome.
And if Niffen is not the perfect story for any volleyball player that may not get a lot of experience, he didn't even play until his junior year, and now a ripped ace! Taking advantage of the freshman, Kiriako.
I wish I had caught how hot that serve was.
I missed it too.
That thing was moving off the right shoulder of Ido David.
Second ace today for UCLA. David, who hails from Haifa, had an unbelievable run last season. 40 kills in the 2 tournament matches against Long Beach and Hawaii. He had 23 in the final. And a large part of that historical set, 33-31, won by Hawaii in the second set last year in the final. David hangs and bangs, and it's 3-1.
Yep, that is the textbook hang and bang right there. He jumped earlier than he needed to, floated through the air just long enough, and then slapped that ball high with no spin off the block and out of bounds. It's a smart shot.
If you're wondering why the delay there, it's because Cole Power came into our kitchen for a moment. Nothing broken as Champlin finds Heno.
Wow.
Lear is stuffed by Robinson.
What a move by Cooper Robinson. First of all, this pass by Lear Heno was incredible, and everybody should have expected the ball to go to him. Look at that. The 11 on Robinson's jersey is all the way over the net when he's blocking. That is insane.
3 blocks, 3 kills. His first national semifinal match for Cooper Robinson. Meanwhile, a little deception. Snuffed out by Aziz. Terrific dig by the former libero. Robinson misses it wide and immediately grabs his right finger. Certainly not playing at 100%, not happy with that effort.
Wow, yeah, that's a missed opportunity there. I could tell that that ball was going to get shot out to Robinson quick. But the block was there and kind of forced Robinson into making that off-speed choice, and he missed it out of bounds.
Cooper only had 2 starts last season. It was a lot of Grant Sloan. It was a lot of David as well. Robinson has taken that left side job and is running with it.
And look at that repeat from Andrew Rowan back to his guy who just made an error. Keep his confidence high. That is against 3 blockers, straight over, got the fingertip touch out of the reach of a diving power. Perfect swing, perfect.
Easy serve from Guinness. Oh my goodness! A rocket launch from Campbell.
I'm not sure that Ito David was planning on getting a tattooed. Look at that rip. I think that went right through the arms of Rowan as well, right to the shoulder. Credit to David for hanging in there and taking it, man.
Give and go. Kiriakou is there. How about the freshman with now 4 digs? Andon Kiriakou came off the bench for Tangator, and now Campbell gets beaten. Help from the net.
Yeah, that was the thing. Just unlucky there for UCI is that Champlin swing on the right side clipped the tape. But really interestingly, that Ethan Champlin slid over to the right sideline to attack that D ball in transition after the scramble took David out of the offense as an option. I love that movement.
Power keeps that alive, out of system to Flexen. That's pancaked by Champlin, but an overpass terminated. Flexen is there for his 8th kill.
Another one of the things that I love about Ethan Champlin is his back row defense. His positioning and ability to make plays in position 6 is incredible, and this is a rare mishandled ball by Andrew Rowan. I agree with you. You want to throw it tight, let Cooper Robinson use his athleticism, but maybe not when he's got a 6'9" guy right in front of him.
That one was never close from Flexen.
Just a bit outside.
14 service errors for Irvine, 13 for UCLA. The digs are close to a 1-dig edge from the Bruins and a 1-kill edge for the Anteaters. This is as close as it gets, and now the service errors total is even. I mean, statistically, UCLA about 100 points better hitting percentage, but Irvine's taken more swings and has more kills.
Right. It's kind of their game, though. The longer rallies go, the more comfortable the Anteaters are.
Now the freshman from Canada, Andon Kiriakou. It's the first swing McHenry has that is not a kill. But another chance for Rowan to feed the superstar, and he tips again. How about the set from Kiriakou? Longest rally of this match, and there's a net violation on a point that was won by Irvine anyways.
2 tips in the same rally from Merrick McHenry? I don't know if I've seen that in his entire career. Especially with Stewart, who's an excellent defender, and right front is the off blocker. Maybe we just have to give credit to Irvine for putting good blocking presence up in front of him.
Oh, the deception to McHenry opens the door for David, and he has 7 kills.
This is some nice first ball side out here, facilitated by Andrew Rowan. Even if you've got big blockers, if you can beat him with speed like UCLA loves to do, good offense always has an advantage over good defense in this game.
Brings in the serve of McHenry. But Irvine's serve receive has been on point today as Heno adds a tattoo to the bicep of Champlin, excuse me.
A couple points in a row there where most of what Heno was doing was junk. Some two-handed throws, some off-speed, some recycle. Not that one. That's just a whip.
Winner to Saturday's final, 2 o'clock on ESPN2. Hello, 8-all.
Touched and in. Not worth 2 points, unfortunately for UC Irvine. But got the ball back for the Anteaters, and they terminated, as they so often do, with the National Player of the Year.
Back to Grigorev now. Put on a perfect platter, but Davidas blocked.
No.
Oh, Knight loses himself. Rowan wasn't there. And a mental mistake gives Irvine a 1-point edge, 9-8.
That was a really good coverage play by Guy Guinness. That is Andrew Rowan's ball unless he says otherwise. Interesting.
Champlin waits and deceives to tie us at 9.
Taking a little bit of Ilir Heno influence on that one, Ethan Champlin. Off-speed power tip through the block. I'm not going to call it a throw. That would be implying that it's illegal. That was a power tip.
Champlin, 3-time first-team All-America and a semi-finalist for the AAU Sullivan Award, which is the top amateur athlete in the nation. Now Champlin looks to set the stage. As Power finds himself. Termination, Champlin once again. His 13 kills lead all scorers, and UCLA gets to 10 first.
That was a 74-mile-an-hour rocket from Ito David. That, I think, is the fastest serve we've seen so far this week that has been inbounds.
Yeah.
Can he do it again?
Just 67 into the tape. We're tied at 10.
This is a very good rotation here for UC Irvine to score. Brett Sheward actually statistically one of the most efficient servers in the country because of how rarely he misses. Plus, it's UC Irvine's best blocking lineup, but that is my fault, Brett. My bad. That was a badly timed commentator's curse, my fault. Really rare, though, seriously. Sheward does not miss a serve very often. Oh, or did he? I'm surprised by this. This was close. I did not think it was close enough to challenge. And David Niffen thinks that it is. He thinks this ball was in.
Niffen, if he loses this challenge, is down to just 1 until the 5th set. And at 10-11. Questionable.
Interesting. Plus, he's all the way on the other side of the gym from this. Not a great view. That's
Ooh,
close.
That
it's
angle,
close.
But it's a quick review, and it is ruled out.
Okay. So sure enough, UC Irvine has 1 challenge remaining. But if this match happens to go to 5, Niffen will get 1 more back.
Let's go ahead and give Christian Krisak his flowers. I think all week long, all of the referees, we've got Ron Pelham up top, we haven't had a review last more than a minute and a half.
I love it. The speed of the challenge really keeps the flow of the game in perfect top form. Tremendous credit to all of our officials. 4 line judges, 2 officials, replay staff, everyone doing a great job.
Speraw, win or lose this weekend, will head to Anaheim in pursuit of a gold medal. He won one as an assistant coach back in Beijing and will lead the United States men's national team this summer in Paris, where that man, you never know, he may be hanging around his home country for the Olympics.
Very possibly. Going to be a great summer of international volleyball.
Ooh, Heno got kind of close to a foot fault there. Regardless, it goes long, and it's 12-11.
Heno's serving not been particularly good tonight. He got the 1 ace in the first and forced a couple overpasses, but a surprisingly high error rate.
1 ace, 6 errors of the 16 for Irvine. Another good pass by the freshman Kiriakou, and the swing is touched.
Another good call by Christian Krisak. He's all over it. That ball definitely touched by Robinson off the off-speed effort there of Flexen. And now one of UC Irvine's smaller potential blocking lineups with Kiriakou and Grigorev as Campbell serves.
Kiriaku's just 6'2" in that front row, and they'll attack him with David. Back to Heno. That was the more emotional.
I love the give and go as well. Heno there defensively, one of the best defenders in volleyball, which he doesn't get enough credit for in my opinion. And then you can set the man from literally anywhere, and it's never a bad choice.
McHenry. I don't know if that freshman from Canada has seen anything like it.
That ball was on its way to the 4-foot mark. Look at this angle. This is crazy. That is right in Kiriaku's lap, and he is one step off the net. That's nuts.
In for the injured Tangator, who hurt himself early in the first set. And now Grigorev is blocked by David. 8th for UCLA, double the amount of blocks as Irvine.
I said it on Tuesday, Daniel, at one point, but every middle blocker's best friend is a pin blocker who helps with the quick. Credit to David there for fronting and getting hands up in front of Grigorev.
Punched Kiriaku. I mean, there's no stopping it.
Nope, none. Never a bad choice, if at all possible. Set the ball to Merrick McHenry. Timeout, UC Irvine. Well, it might be a timeout, might be media timeout. Either way, David Niffen needs a minute.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at Sherwin-Williams.
One set apiece, and the Bruins lead 15-13. Champlin hitting 500 with 13 kills. McHenry 709. That's exactly what his final line was against Fort Valley State on Tuesday. UCLA swept through the SEAC's first ever auto bid out of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. UC Irvine swept through Penn State. And these two teams finally facing an opponent worth a little bit extra popcorn.
Well said. There is some popcorn behind us. I can smell it.
I can smell it too. Kiriaku, a little bit too much pace, and it's pummeled.
Cooper Robinson gets the kill, but this point really belongs to Andrew Rowan. When you force an overpass like that, yeah, you're not going to get a kill easier than that for Robinson. You turn and you point to your server. Your teammate gave you that opportunity.
I wonder if David Niffen may make a move or stick with the freshman who has played just 6 sets this season. As Rowan finds Robinson, touched into the corner. 4-point edge for the Bruins, who are looking every bit the aggressors.
Outstanding swing from Cooper Robinson. And what was interesting about that is that libero number 14, Matthew Aziz, dug that ball in position 1. I'm not sure what he was doing in right back, but it worked out for UCLA. 4-point lead. Be back after this Irvine timeout.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
Well, the nation's leader in hitting percentage, .370 this season. UCLA hitting a smooth .431 behind a 5-0 scoring run that has the Bruins on top and in control, Rob.
5-0 run on the credit of one of the better serving setters I can remember in the NCAA for a very long time. Andrew Rowan, in the opinion of many, the best setter in the country, already with a national championship ring, putting his stamp on this semifinal.
Another overpass and another termination. Now, he may not have the aces this run, but it feels like he's had a few.
2 overpasses forced. That's the next best thing. It's not an ace on the stat sheet, but it may as well be. It is an automatic point for Cooper Robinson. Amazing serving from Andrew Rowan.
Rowan, who had a bloody nose in the first set. Not the best set of his career. And now Heno, when he was needed most, with his 13th kill and a pivotal side out.
Nice fix there by Elliott. This ball was underset ever so slightly. Heno caught up to it anyway. He found some space against a surprisingly low number of blockers in the middle of the court against him. And now a real chance for Nolan Flexen. Down by 4, basically a green light chance here. Got to go after this, put the ball inbounds with some pressure.
Kiriakou moves into the front row. He has struggled on blocking, and Kiriakou just abandoned ship, and I think he would too.
There are this is that look at how high Merrick McHenry is. It doesn't matter that it takes a while out of Rowan's hands for him to swing at it. He can levitate, survey his kingdom, which is the other side of the floor, and pull the trigger, bounce the ball inside the attack line.
Oh, the first bad break this set for the Bruins, who are hitting .500 in the third and a 4-point edge following that 7-run spurt.
This is about the same score that we've seen in each of the first 2 sets, Daniel, and the team that has led at this point went on to win the set. Does Irvine have a comeback in them?
And on Kiriakou. Good serve. It's in system. Schuart's been a bit spotty, and right on cue, Heno gets frustrated with himself, but not much he could do there.
Merrick McHenry, again, practically swallowed this ball and spit it back at Hilaire Heno. Look at how high he is. Crazy. Good setup by Ito David as well.
8 kills, 5 blocks, 2 swings that have not resulted in a kill for McHenry. 8-0-10. Heno took that right out of Power's hands and now has to send a booming free ball that lands wide. And Irvine is in a house of horrors here in the Walter Pyramid. It's 21-15.
I am very curious about what sort of wheels are turning in the mind of David Niffen right now. He lost his starting outside hitter, Akil Tangatur, in the first 10 points of the first set. What is he going to do to start set 4?
Soft touch, saved by Schuart. There was a net violation there, and it's Irvine's point, and that's a gift.
For sure, excellent coverage. Man, I've been really impressed by Max Grigorev, his ability as a middle blocker to do the non-traditional middle blocker things. To play defense, to cover, to serve, to set occasionally. Does he have a service run in him right here? There's still a little bit of time for a comeback to be made by the Anteaters.
It's an important rotation, Power on the pine.
Oh,
Robinson with authority.
With authority is right. Perfect pass by Robinson off the tape, set it up. Rowan rewards him against basically no blockers. No blockers. That ball is tattooed to 15 feet out of the back row. Unbelievable.
Now David, 74 on the gun, off the tape, slowed it down. Power with an overpass, and Rowan is going to be the benefactor of a very, very sloppy net violation on Irvine.
It's a hard play for Lirheno, trying to chase that down and get ready maybe for his joust. He brushes the net. Timeout Irvine. They've got some serious questions to answer as the momentum shifting towards Westwood late in set number 3.
All the All-Americans this year. Want to recognize the All-Americans for UC Irvine. Lirheno, Brett Sheward, Cole Bauer, Connor Campbell, and Max Gregora. For UCLA, they also had 5 All-Americans recognized in the evening. Ethan Champlin.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni. Yeehaw!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
Daniel Gilman, Rob St. Clair with you as this presentation of Turner Sports on NCAA.com rolls along. We've got one more national semifinal to follow as the hosts Beach take on Grand Canyon University in a rematch of last season's quarterfinal. The Beach took that quite handedly, as UCLA is looking like they are in cruise control now. 2 points from the set as Flexen dug by David. Champlin directionally, and it's Rowan who rolls it into the donut.
Andrew Rowan has really put his stamp on this third set and is proving those who believe that he's the best setter in the country to be the correct take. And he punctuates it with a kill to bring up set point for Ido David. What's the speed gun going to say on this one?
How about 74 again? And Champlin begging for a touch is not going to get it. And the entire UCLA team now asking for a challenge, and they will not need it. It is overturned by the line judge. And the Bruins take the set 25-17 and are one set away from another spot in the final as we will step away and the two sides will switch here on this beautiful Thursday in Long Beach.
To our corporate champions and partners, without their support, these great championship moments and opportunities are not possible for our student athletes. The NCAA's commitment to the highest levels of fairness and well-being, along with the pursuit of excellence in both academics and athletics, helps build a championship culture. With their generosity, our corporate partners make it possible to celebrate champions. Think.
Yeah, okay, Long Beach Walter Pyramid, it's time for another energy check. My name is DJ B-Rock, it's time for another energy check. If you want your team to win today, put a hand up. If you want your team to move on to Saturday's game, put a hand up. I want to know UCLA fans, put a hand up. UCI fans, Long Beach fans, Ohio fans. If you want your team today to win today, put a hand up.
Soldier Boy, I got the new dance for y'all called the Soldier Boy.
Fans, I want to know who knows the dance. Who can dance the best? Who can dance the best in the song? Show me.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni. Yeehaw!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
Sweetie. That tickles. Not tonight.
When spiders show up, So do we. Terminix it.
When it comes to your truck, you can power it up 6 ways to Sunday. But if you want to get things done, start with the capability of Ford F-150. Gas, power boost hybrid, or all electric. The power is yours.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, everybody inside the Walter Pyramid, everybody
Well, what UCLA has done in the past 2 sets is unbelievable. Here's the match numbers, even despite losing that first set, just 7 total attack errors for the Bruins.
465 efficiency through 3 sets is off the charts, even for a team that leads the country in that stat. But what I'm really more interested in is those bottom 2 numbers. 2 aces, 9 blocks, and those things are linked. Because if you think about it this way, the first part of your team's defense is actually serving. Because when you serve the ball, that is creating discomfort on the opponent's side. And UCLA's service pressure, it hasn't always shown up in number of aces, but particularly that row-in run that created those 2 overpasses for Robinson generates better blocking chances for your team when you serve the ball tougher. Defense starts with serving, and then it finishes with blocking and defense. Those things are linked. UCLA is dominating in those areas in the last 2 sets.
And it's that man right there, Ethan Champlin, leading the way, 14 kills, hitting .522 with 5 digs and a block. He will serve to start this 4th set. That 3rd set was all Bruins, 25-17, as Sherwood with the cover. Sets it up for Heno, who tries to smother. It hits the line. Robinson with a block to start the 4th.
That is really impressive block discipline by Cooper Robinson. Just about anyone else in the country would get wiped out of bounds by Ilir Heno on that play. Robinson refused to allow his left hand to get tooled. Very well done.
Make it 10 even blocks for the defending champs. Meanwhile, Darcy has checked in at the left side. The expected move made a little late. Look at Aziz coming into our kitchen here. And it's Aziz who sets up Robinson's kill.
Heck of a rundown by Matthew Aziz, crashing over into our table, creating a chance for Robinson. Look at this. Yeah, you caught a glimpse of Daniel and I in the suits over there. Beautiful swing by Robinson. Great point, though, Daniel. William Darcy starts this set at opposite for UC Irvine. Nolan Flexen shifts to outside hitter. He is in the passing pattern now and gets one there.
That's a brilliant pass. The former player of the year, and David gets sniped. And Heno's going to come over and check on his buddy Ito.
Good sportsmanship there. Good sportsmanship there. Yeah, thumbs up all around. That ball honestly may have been going out of bounds. David just happened to have his good-looking face right there in the way.
We're going to add him to the all-facial hair team.
Yeah, and we're going to have yet another bloody nose on the UCLA team after that.
You could tell for a moment the referees were like, wait a minute. Heno, you can't go there. And then they realized.
Great sportsmanship from Heno. Hey, who says volleyball's not a contact sport?
And the Heno serve put away by Grigorev.
Look at that footwork from Max Grigorev to get that. I think he might have hit that outside the sideline. This is a middle. Look at number 23. Look at him move all the way out there to go get that thing.
You know, I do that in pickleball. When the ball's heading out, I hit it anyways. Grigorev wanted the stats.
I really want to swing at this ball. I'm going to go get this thing. Love it. When you're a middle, you got to do that stuff sometimes.
Irvine desperate for Heno to turn it on at the service line. But the side out comes from Robinson. 9. Now 10 kills for Cooper.
Another really interesting thing that UC Irvine just did there is they switched their blockers. William Darcy was blocking in the middle. Grigorev was blocking on the right side, just based on the matchup and the rotation. I'm really interested to see how that works for them if they stick with it.
Well, the 6'3" Grigorev dwarfed under the 6'10" Darcy as McHenry misses wide and we're tied at 3. Irvine won the first set, 25-22. They hit 444 in that set. Since Irvine hitting under 200 as UCLA stormed to take the second and third.
Now a big front court blocking lineup for UCI.
Big ace. Grigorev's second today.
A rocket off the right arm of Max Grigorev. Let me tell you, I love this guy's game so much. A middle blocker who does it all. And UC Irvine is going to need every bit of service pressure that they can get if they want to force this thing to 5. Ooh, I like the idea on the changeup. Maybe it was forced by a toss that was too far in front of him. But it comes up a little bit short. And now Rowan, who had that huge run in set 3, gets a turn of his own.
A 6-0 service run to basically put the set out of hand for the true sophomore. Sends it deep. And I think everybody that is not wearing a light color of blue in this arena wants a 5th set.
I kind of want a 5th set just to watch more volleyball. We were sort of starved for it on Tuesday with 4 sweeps. These two teams are so good, I don't want it to be over yet.
And there's a Darcy ace off the chest of Knight.
That thing got on him quick. I don't know if that ball was moving that fast. It was moving weird. Look at the way this ball's moving. Yeah, that is funky. Only 59 miles an hour, but nothing Knight could do because it wasn't spinning like a true normal topspin. It didn't dip onto his platform like he expected. Tattooed him in the chest.
Darcy off the tape. I did hear that, the water moves differently down under.
Yeah.
So spin from Darcy comes the other way.
Everything's backwards.
William Darcy, the sophomore from Brisbane, member of the U20 Australia national team, who just added this jump serve midway through the year. Wow. And now an ace comes the other way from Robinson.
Service firepower, the early story for both of these teams. I love this serve down the line. I love that thumb down side spin action. Beats Flexen to his left, and also that's the guy you've got to target for UCI now. He is, if there is a passing liability on the anteater side, it is number 9 in dark blue.
Instead, it's the UCLA transfer power, and Heno out of the back row for kill number 15.
Excellent first ball side out there. You got to get Heno going, including out of the back row. You were saying in the break, Daniel, that he could use even more attempts. Now 15 for 31 with 7 errors. The key, though, I'm not sure why Robinson changed up his service strategy. Put that one on power after having success on Flexen on the previous serve.
And now Flexen right into that net. Now Heno did set the Big West record with 36 kills in a match against Hawaii earlier this season. So he certainly has the firepower to single-handedly keep Irvine in this match. Now it's Guy Geddes' turn. The redshirt junior from Tel Aviv with a shank serve.
Yikes. That hit the scorer's table on a fly. And UCLA triumphantly reaches 20 service errors on the match. However, they lead 2-1 in the only category that matters.
Rowan saves it. McHenry, rinse and repeat. 9-0-11 for Merrick McHenry.
What a great grab this is by Andrew Rowan. Good size setter at about 6'5". Gets 2 hands on this tight pass. No doubter for number 13 in white again.
Eight apiece. 1 challenge left for Irvine, 2 left for UCLA. Bump set out to Heno, swiping the block. There is Elir Heno's magic power.
That is him at his very, very best right there. Most other hitters in the country, if not the world, would not be able to do what Elir Heno does with 6 hands up in front of him. It is really special how he does not fear the block. He uses it to his advantage.
Give and go, and Chaplin is roofed! How about the 6'3" Grigorev?
And that's on that blocking switch that we talked about in the last rotation. Grigorev blocking the right side. Look at this. Darcy nowhere even close. That is a one-on-one move on the right side by a middle blocker. Innovation by David Niffen.
His first block of this match, and Schuard for the second time today has a foot fault.
That is so strange. We haven't seen any foot faults all week.
I mean, you just don't see foot faults all season.
No, you don't. Look how much room he has to serve.
Wow, and we're going to have a challenge, and this could be Niffin's final challenge if he is not correct.
Wow, I am stunned by this choice because if he wins the challenge, it's a replay.
Yep.
UC Irvine doesn't get a point if they win this challenge.
Eagerly awaiting this replay that could help decide. Oh, and he's on it.
Really close.
I see him on it. Let's see.
I am stunned by the choice to challenge this just because the upside isn't really there.
This is another challenge for Irvine in the first 20 points of a set. It is Christian Krizek with a quick deliberation. And it is a foot fault, and Irvine is out of challenges until the 5th set.
That is crazy, Daniel. Of all the things to challenge and to use your last one on, to try and reverse a foot fault call, I did not see that coming.
Remember, the previous challenge was on the antenna swing. That also wasn't that close.
Wow.
So we saw with Ohio State on Tuesday.
We did.
Helpless. But they have Heno.
Yes, they do. They are in the unique position, UC Irvine, that they happen to have their Heno on their roster. And now, after this side out, which just about every ball in rotation one you expect him to get, Heno has to turn it on from the baseline right here. He has not been good enough tonight in this area. As one ace has forced 2 overpasses, far too many service errors. He has got to be good for his team right here in this area.
110 service errors this season. 48 aces, and there's a 111th, maybe by a millimeter.
That was close, but even if Irvine wanted to challenge it, they no longer can.
They will get one additional challenge if they force a 5th set. McHenry. Grigorev!
Unleashing one out of the middle is Max Grigorev. I have just loved the match that he has played. Look how fast he is up in the air, and from the right sideline to hit that ball against your body's momentum back to the right is a really special swing.
9-1-14 for Grigorev. What a dig. Champlin keeps it alive. Perfect ball to Seward. Flexen, drops the hammer, and Irvine leads by 3.
Great defense by Alir Heno. Just everywhere in position 6, and Nolan Flexen explodes on the left side. Look at this transition offense for UC Irvine. They made the change at the wings. Now they lead by 3, trying to force a tiebreaker.
What a treat for the volleyball fans at home and watching around the nation. We've got another semifinal coming up next. Long Beach State matches up with Grand Canyon, the 2 versus 3. GCU beat UCLA last weekend in the Galen Center to win the MPSF. Therefore, UCLA and UC Irvine. Oh, there's an ace off of David.
Oh my goodness, what an unlucky break for UCLA and a potential momentum turner as the momentum continues to swing, this time back to Irvine. Maxim Grigorev, of all the aces that he's ever gotten, that one might have been the most fortunate.
I was going to say both of these teams are at-large teams. Only 2 at-large bids of the 8-team field.
Excellent point. This as this tournament has expanded, and I remember not very long ago the NCAA men's volleyball tournament was only 4 teams, but even then there were only 2 at-large bids at most.
What a swing by Flexen to keep the momentum with Irvine.
Has expanded to 8 teams with so much growth in National Collegiate Men's Volleyball Division 1 and 2. The SEAC now getting an auto bid. The Conference Carolina is well established. Next year, there's a great chance that the Northeast Conference is going to get an auto bid. The tournament might expand again as another ace serve, a lucky one, this time for Darcy off the tape and down.
There is no denying the volleyball gods are looking to push to a 5th set with that ace off of David's foot in rotation. And now Darcy gets a little bit of that Australian flavor here. Darcy, who did not play aside from 1 point in the first 3 sets, I should say. The injury to Tangator has shaken it up, and now Camplin is stuffed from the back row. It's Campbell.
What a
A timeout for UCLA. Let's take another look.
Look at that dive. What a reaction. Incredible move by Connor Campbell. All UC Irvine up by 6.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni. Yeehaw!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
UC Irvine, a 6-point lead, looking to force 5 here in this first national semifinal, and UCLA will make an important change as the versatile Zach Rama comes off the bench to relieve Ido David, and you had a feeling that fresh legs would play an impact.
Yeah, and John Sparrow told us this substitution might be coming. This is a rotation 1 specific attacking sub, a left side on the left side of the court.
Rowan goes to Rama. Robinson. Second time Champlin has dug Flexen, and Rama off the block makes his mark here in that 1-point rotation for number 21. He will now stay in the front row.
Wow, he'll stay in. That's the part that I'm surprised by. I thought that was a rotation 1 specific substitution to get a left side comfortable attacker on the left side of the court, but no, Rama's going to stay in at opposite.
6-1-9 for Rama on Tuesday. That's up. Campbell, the middle. Oh! Darcy delivers!
A middle blocker pancake? The volleyball gods are pushing for a 5th set. That is ridiculous. Look at that play by Campbell, perfectly up. And then even better bump set by Cole Power to Darcy, who off the bench to start this set has been a huge difference maker.
Flexen now serves. The transfer from the Masters, and it stays on Irvine's side. Now, the Masters University is here in California, and Flexen didn't really want to leave. It took his own coach pushing him back into a Power 5 spot in an integral men's volleyball school. And, of course, David Niffen had a little bit to do with it as well. Heno waits and drops the tier.
I love that choice because this is one of the things that's going to be a real challenge for Zach Rama for UCLA as long as he continues to play in this spot, is trying to block Ilir Heno. Blocking on the right side versus the left is not an easy switch necessarily if you're not used to it. And then you get an attacker that does all this weird junk like this that Heno does at such high of a level. Continue to look for Heno to pick on that blocker, number 21 in white in front of him, as Dom comes in off the bench to serve for the Anteaters.
Connor Dom with an ace. UC Irvine has spun 4 aces in this 4th set, and it's 2013.
Momentum is on UC Irvine's side. They have unlocked something. They have figured something out with the lineup of Flexen and Heno on the left sides, Darcy on the right side. Dom gets a very memorable service ace in the national semifinal.
13th ace of the season. And he goes with another inside-out look. A little bit of bad luck off the tape, and it's a 6-point lead for the Anteaters, who did just this when they met in Irvine. UCLA won the first 2 sets handedly. Irvine won sets 3 and 4 back on January 31st before UCLA pulled away late in the 5th, 15-9, as Rama serves. Towering line drive. Heno saved. McHenry, another middle pancake. This play is alive. And it's dead now. Champlin tools the block.
What a great play by Merrick McHenry. Incredible awareness to scoop that ball up. Let's see this again. Yeah, spectacular save. And then Robinson actually able to put on a little bit of pressure there as he sends it over. Champlin ultimately with the winner.
This feels like the service run that could get UCLA back in the set. Darcy with a discouraging swing, and you imagine a timeout may come soon here for Irvine, and it will come right there. 20-16. Can the Anteaters get 5 before the Bruins get 9? Find out next.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni.
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
Following a David Niffen timeout, UCLA with a little bit of momentum, a 3-0 service run. Off the bench, Zach Rama, and there's John Spera, who went to UCLA, won 2 championships in 93 and 95. Now looking to win his 2nd Bruin championship. But a little bit of a mountain to climb. Down by 5 as Schuward serves. Gotta love the little Anteater logo on the shorts.
Love it.
McHenry, finally! And all it took was a 6'10 middle.
It's William Darcy, the opposite, whose only job on that play is to commit in front of Merrick McHenry. Look at that. Full jump on McHenry. Had no intention of blocking anybody else, and it pays off. Incredible adjustment by Irvine.
Alex Knight's been a bit invisible. That's a great first ball by Knight, and it's missed! Back-to-back errors by Merrick McHenry. And it's like seeing 2 rainbows.
I am blown away by that coaching move to put Grigoriev to block on the right and Darcy in the middle in this rotation. It's bought Irvine 3 points.
Oh, Champlin slams down the dunk, and it's 23-17.
Just such high-level volleyball going on here, Daniel. The coaches, the moves they're having to make. Irvine's kind of by necessity with the loss of Akil Tangatur in the first set. It's paid off so well, these blocking moves in this fourth set here. But now they got to get out of rotation one.
Champlin, an absolute banger of an ace, and the fourth today for UCLA. Still has some work to do, though.
That was sick. That was sick. More of that inside-out shoulders, thumb down, wrist away, and going at the right guy and flexing.
How about a double-double for Ethan Champlin? His second of the season with 10 digs, 16 kills. And he gives Irvine 6 set points now to force a fifth set here in the national semis.
Nice substitution.
Champlin's going to come out. Luca Kirchi, the freshman, in a bit of a passing, maybe a resting move for Champlin as well.
Can Hanno send this out in style? I think he can. I think this might finally be the time he gets going from the service line.
18 kills, 1 ace for Hanno. And Robinson will send us to the fifth with an attack error. UC Irvine with a statement set to keep their season alive. And when we come back, we'll talk about the key personnel changes that David Niffen made to send us to that fifth set next here on NCAA.com.
These new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs are fun size.
And perfect on the go.
Did you hear that, Buttercup? We can go anywhere.
It's packed with cheese and pepperoni!
Be free, Buttercup. Be free.
Enjoy delicious Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99.
Pizza, pizza.
There's no one way to power up, as long as 4 is your starting line. Because more important than the power you choose is what you choose to do with it. Gas, hybrid, or all electric, the power is yours.
And here we sit. 4 sets in the books, 1 to follow, and we get some key highlights. Early, it was a lot of UCLA in that 4th set, Rob, before Irvine turned things around. What did you see?
I saw a key substitution pattern that we were kind of surprised, Daniel, didn't happen earlier. Irvine went to a lineup that we haven't seen from them since very early on in the season, with Nolan Flexen, who started the match at opposite, moving to the outside hitter position next to Ilir Heno, and William Darcy, the 6'10" Australian, off the bench on the right side.
And here's a look at that trend we mentioned. The past 5 national champions before UCLA all went back-to-back. It is a remarkable stat and is something that is on the line here in this final set to 15.
It is a ridiculous stat. Just it so happens that the pattern has worked out that way. Ohio State in 2011. Shout out to Coach Pete Hansen, Steve Keogh, John Klanick, Sean Sangri, that whole team. The last one to win one and not go back-to-back because they graduated all their starters.
And it is very important to note, UCLA now has 3 challenges. Irvine now has 1.
Excellent point.
Champlin will serve in this final set as Sheward plays a little risky tight to the net. Heno will take another rip. See if they feed him again. No, it's to the middle, and Grigorev, his 10th kill on 1 error.
First 2 swings that he took were not intended to kill the ball. It's important to point that out. Not every choice that a hitter makes, especially Heno, not every time he attacks the ball, it's intended to score. Those were both recycle balls. Get the ball back on his side, run the offense. That time it happened to be through Grigorev.
Heno sends one long, and every point multiplied. And here's a great stat on Grigorev as he moves into that right side spot. And you see Heno, 18 kills, 7 errors. Grigorev had 10 matches with 10 kills this season, but today is his first since March 8th.
Wow.
Turning it up when it matters most, and it's Max Grigorev giving Irvine the first ball side out.
Make it 11. Another smart off-speed choice by Grigorev. Man, his game has really impressed me. Ooh, that one caught in his hand for a surprisingly long time as well. I'm not sure Sparral loved that.
2 aces for Grigorev, both in that 4th set, as he cuts one tonight. Robinson is wide, 3-1 Irvine in this race to 15.
Like you mentioned, Daniel, every point in a 5th set only to 15 is magnified, especially when you fail to side out.
UCLA only sided out at 50% in that last set, but the joust stays alive from Rowan. And Robinson in left front, beautiful touch.
That's a nice find, and again, on the previous touch on offense, that was not intended to score for UCLA. It was intended to recycle. Mission accomplished. Then you get a better look to give Robinson a chance against 3 blockers. Finds the open space vacated by the left front blocker.
Last season's newcomer of the year in the nation, Andrew Rowan. It's a huge block touch by McHenry. David is back in, refreshed and rejuvenated to even us at 3.
Great serve by Andrew Rowan, started up, but that point belongs to Merrick McHenry. He had the commit block touch that slowed down Connor Campbell and allowed UCLA to get that transition look for the tie.
Flexen didn't have many options. Heno to Flexen! This year's AVCA Player of the Year to last year's NAIA AVCA Player of the Year.
What a set by Ilir Heno. That was awesome. And a high degree of difficulty swing terminated by Flexen.
Tell you what, it looked like a warm-up set. But the service error, I'll ask you this. You're, very much in that service errors, not the end of the world. In the 5th set, service errors matter a little bit more.
A little bit more, but it's still not the end of the world. However, like we've said, not all service errors are created equal.
Cooper Robinson returns the favor. Now, a lot of the open seats you see belong to Long Beach and GCU. Behind the camera, behind us, almost capacity for these 2 fan bases.
Yeah, I can barely hear us even with headsets on. The fans immediately behind us are so loud, especially the UC Irvine fans.
Flexen Beautiful pass by Robinson, and David, we're tied at 5.
You said it. Beautiful pass by Robinson. That was an outstanding first ball contact by number 11 in white off a very good serve. And then Rowan, using his length and athleticism, gets 2 hands on it.
MPSF versus Big West. It's Merrick McHenry to Alir Heno, number 19 in the kill total to lead all scorers.
So smart. What a smart shot. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy be so comfortable with 6 hands up in front of them. Has great vision and an infinitely deep toolbox that allows him to make such great choices in high ball situations. And now Dom, who had an ace in the last set, Daniel, comes in off the bench to serve for UC Irvine.
Indeed, one Connor serves for the other as Campbell gets a breather. Oh, that's going to be a net violation on Irvine to give Champlin the kill. They are now in a bit of a tighter window. A race to 9 wins this semifinal.
Disappointing not touch there from UC Irvine. Flexen dug that ball. That was going to be a great look in transition, negated by the violation. We're tied up at 6.
And it's the power serve from Haifa. Ido David, 72 on the gun, slowed down by that tape. Oh no! Cole Power rolls his ankle over the midline and is another net violation on Irvine.
That is a centerline violation by a libero. You almost never see that. Cole Power put his entire foot over the center line. This is definitely a good call. UCLA's point. The question is Power okay? That's what's important here. And he's jumping around on the ankle. He is going to give it a go to continue.
Now there is a second libero dressed. It's Davis Lau, the grad senior from Hawaii. He will not be called upon yet as David serves at 7-6.
Wow.
73 miles an hour, handled. Grigorev couldn't put it on a better plate, but Heno is blocked.
For once, a 3-man block against Alir Heno comes up huge, and the teams change sides as UCLA steals the lead at 8-6 in the 5th. Trip to the final on the line when we come back.
When it comes to your truck, you can power it up 6 ways to Sunday. But if you want to get things done, start with the capability of Ford F-150. Gas, power boost hybrid, or all electric. The power is yours.
Back in Long Beach as UCLA fans on their feet, 7 points away from another trip to the national championship. Irvine, well, they have tasted the golden rainbow a few times in the past. Championships won in 07, 9, 12, and 13. But their first trip in 6 years as UC Irvine now has to come from behind.
Got to fight off this serve of Ido David out of this timeout.
Third consecutive serve for the junior. And there's your coach's point with the timeout to ice him, and it's 8-7.
I don't know who gets credit for that one. The media? Do we get credit for that point off the media timeout? Big break there for UC Irvine, and now a good blocking lineup. See if they do the same thing with Grigorev and Darcy switching. No, Darcy
Sheward.
goes to the right.
Give and go with Champlin, down the line, dug by Sheward. David sent right back to him. Champlin covered by Robinson, bodies everywhere. It's Heno. It's Heno, and we're tied again.
What a rally. What a ridiculous rally. Sometimes when volleyball gets a little weird, gets a little sloppy, it is at its best, and finished by one of the classic Ilir Heno off-speed choices, a throw off the chest of Ethan Champlin, and we're tied.
Sheward with another down ball serve. Flexen with a key dig again, and it's down! The Anteaters come storming back on their own 3-0 run, and Flexen's defense shines. UCLA needs a timeout, and we will take one with them. Everybody, deep breaths. This is as good as it gets. We'll be right back. Still to come, the host and 2-seed Long Beach State and the MPSF champions and Cinderella 3-seed Grand Canyon just under an hour away. Serving 9-8, Sheward again. Guinness, his first swing in ages.
That is his first swing in ages, and a really nice time for Rowan to reintroduce him to the UCLA offense. That rotation is over. It is 9-9 in a game to 15 to go to the national championship match. What more can you ask for, sports fans? This is as good as it gets.
18 kills for Champlin. Heno from the right side. 21 kills for Heno, and Irvine gets to
Fight in the fifth set. Most of the gym knew that ball was going to Heno on the right side in rotation one for Irvine, and now the player of the year gets a chance to atone for some errors in the biggest moment at the service line.
Soft serve. Rama off the bench takes a swing. Oh, that was an awkward set. David returns the favor. Fans not happy. What a dig by Champlin. Oh, brilliance from Champlin again. And it's Rama. We're tied at 10. Point of the week.
Unbelievable. Zach Rama out of nowhere off the bench gets the rally-winning kill. That rally length was way longer than the average for men's volleyball. Coleman McDonough comes off the bench to serve here. But I want to give our officials credit too. They let that point play out. The ball decided the point, not the whistle. I love that. Big moment here for McDonough, the backup libero.
His only ever serve today was a service error. Flexen has it whiff, and then he whiffs, and Spara shows emotion for the first time in a while. It's 11-10.
Smart serving from Coleman McDonough, going right after Nolan Flexen as who wipes off his hands, not letting that ball slip through him again. UCLA takes a narrow lead, no timeout from David Niffen.
Henry in the front row. Keep an eye on 13 and white. Flexen begs for a touch and gets it. Oh, Spurrock can't believe it, and he will challenge. Now, UCLA has 3 challenges. You have to imagine it's a must challenge here at 11-all.
So, Daniel, like we were talking about on Tuesday, it happens all the time where a ball is initially called out of bounds, it is challenged for a touch, and then a touch is detected on video replay. It is much more rare when it happens the opposite way. That's what's happening here. A touch was called on the floor, and the touch is confirmed very quickly.
Yeah, you can see the ball change direction.
I thought I saw it in real time too, and if you're UCLA, you have to tell your coach, I touched that ball. Don't challenge this, I touched it. Because you know if you touched it. I'm surprised that Spurrock used the challenge there. He still has some left though, and we are tied at 11.
2 challenges for UCLA. 1 timeout left. 1 challenge for Irvine, 2 timeouts left, and it's Grigorev to serve. Meanwhile, McHenry just 1 kill since the 3rd set ended. And that came here in the 5th. And UCLA takes the slight edge, 3 points from victory.
And look who's serving. UCLA's leader on the season in aces, the superstar sophomore setter, Andrew Rowan, at 12-11 in the 5th.
This is what it's all about. Perfect pass by Heno. Flexen over the blocks, wants a touch again, and I think we may have a challenge for Irvine. It's their final one, and Niffin grabs the green card.
Whether Nolan Flexen gets this block touch or not, UCLA is doing exactly what they're trying to do. Serve well enough to get UC Irvine off the net and have somebody. Flexen got the touch on the last one. He's doing a great job keeping the ball high, but was it too high? McHenry claims that he did not touch this ball.
He would be the only one you'd look at. It was right over McHenry's right hand in an important review. Either 13-11 or 12-all. Super interesting in a moment like this to continue to go to a guy like Flexen.
I love it. I love it. We talked about it. He's the NAIA Player of the Year last year. He has experience being the guy. In these next couple rotations, at least until Hano gets back into the front row, he's going to have to continue to be the guy. Did he deliver on this play? No. Out of bounds. UCLA leads 13-11, and Irvine is out of challenges again.
2 points from victory here in the Walter Pyramid. And now Niffin will use one of his 2 timeouts to ice the server.
Wow.
Stick with us. What a match.
Volleyball fans, we've got a doozy here. Who's pulling for the Anteaters? Who still has an eater faith out there? How about the Bruins? Where are you, Bruins? Are you running?
This has certainly lived up to the expectations and some. Alongside Rob St. Clair, Daniel Gilman with you for the finish of this final set. 2 points away from victory and a chance to repeat on Saturday. Rowan in system. Heno finds the line. And the UCLA bench, nobody wants to step up for a challenge, so it'll stand.
Let's see this replay. Everybody knew this ball was going to Heno. That ball is in. Outstanding swing, great call. Now Darcy from the service line. UCI needs a break point from somewhere.
A one-handed set to McHenry, and match points are coming.
What a grab by Andrew Rowan. Unbelievable reach with the match on the line. That was as good of a serve as you could ask for from Darcy. He almost got the overpass, but too good of a play from Andrew Rowan. Match point Bruins for Zach Rama.
Bullet serve to the former Bruin power. Flexen, bit of a free ball. It's Champlin to finish it off. His 19th kill sends the Bruins back to the final.
Unbelievable. What a performance by the UCLA Bruins. Ethan Champlin, their captain, their first team All-American, put the punctuation mark on the end of it, and the streak, Daniel, remains alive. It is still possible for the UCLA Bruins to repeat as national champions, and what a match this was. Incredible, incredible work by both teams. UC Irvine lost starting outside hitter Akil Tangatur to a knee injury early in the first set. They made so many changes, they made so many adjustments, they brought it all the way back. But in the end, their season ends just barely short of their goal as UCLA takes down UC Irvine in 5 dramatic sets in the pyramid.
And despite poor first and fourth sets, UCLA hits over 400